Hello.
Hello.
Good
Good morning.
Wednesday morning.
It's cold. It's cold.
Another cold, dreary day in Ohio, you know.
Yeah.
And that's because, there's a meteor shower that we never get to see because it's Ohio. So, of course, that means that's what we have to do today. So I have with me today Scott. Scott, you and I have been friends for a little while.
A little
Uh,
bit.
Yeah, and you've had some paranormal activity in your life. That's kind of how we met.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I absolutely kind of wish I didn't, but then I wouldn't have met you, so I'm glad, in a way I did.
right, and I'm glad we were able to get that original, situation taken care of. But you were like, "Hey, it's been a few years. I've got more paranormal for you to come see and
Yeah, it seems like
investigate."
it just comes coming back even when you get rid of it. I'm like a beacon or something. I don't get it. I'm like trying to go like this and just do my life, and they're like, "Hey."
And the ghosties are like, "No, we're here. We're here."
Yeah. Yeah.
So why don't you tell us what your activity is? Because for once, it's not in a house necessarily. You've
No. No, actually, our activity is we created, the Woods of Lost Souls, and based off a job that we were originally doing in Wakeman, Ohio, last year, and we kept seeing this woman in a white gown, and she was just creating havoc, and so we go ahead, we open up our event now to my property in Columbia Station, and it's like she followed us or followed me. It's crazy. We didn't have any activity there, and now all of a sudden, my actors are seeing shadows. They're seeing apparitions. We're hearing people walking around our stations, and there's been a couple times I've even been back there, and we saw the church that we have set up, and I was sitting there waiting, and I could hear somebody walking around me, and I literally went on the radio like, "Hey, is anybody by the church?" And it's crazy. It's in the woods. It is.
and so the name of your attraction is what now?
The Woods of Lost Souls.
Okay, so this is a Halloween attraction, a haunted forest that people can come walk through. Now, have any of your guests been like, I don't think that was part of the attraction?
Honestly, I'm gonna have to like follow up on some of that. Not that I've heard, but even the other day, my mom was sitting by the fire pit, and we have a side door to the barn where nobody even walks out. And she's like, "Do actors use that?" And I'm like, "No." She's like, "I literally saw a man walk out of that side door." And I'm like, "Mom, that's impossible. We have a banner up." So I know she has, but I have to ask guests if they have. I'm not sure, honestly. I'll have to look into that.
I'm going to put in chat a link for your Facebook because I saw last night that you shared the photos that we're going to go over here and video of while you and I were walking around together with some of your actors.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to go check it out and see. But now, what I found interesting, and I've said this over the years, that I don't always immediately feel something. Now, I know when we were first getting there and we walked to the entrance, I know some of you guys were like, let's go that way. And I'm like, I want to go this way.
Right.
Because I felt more of a pull that way. And I think that was kind of in the area that these pictures were going to be taken in.
Yes, it
Um,
was actually.
but I will say I was probably what, like 20, 30 yards away from you and your actor are in these pictures. And honestly, I wasn't feeling really anything. I was talking with your girlfriend and my son, and I was just taking pictures. I saw nothing with my eye, nor did my son. Because I was like, boy, does anything feel like our house when it was haunted? And he goes, you mean oppressive and heavy? And he goes, no, I just feel cold in the woods. And I'm like, fair. Fair.
Right.
And it wasn't until, what was it, yesterday morning, I was going through the pictures and I sent these to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, why is it over my head? When Dylan
Well,
is sitting there on the spirit box, sitting there trying to like antagonize a little bit. And I'm like, Dylan, stop. I'm like,
so
yeah.
hey, friends. So this would have been the first coming in. Now
Yeah,
this
see, now that's at the end. So when you walk into the left, this is the right side, and we kind of call this the Blair Witch side. This is where at the end of our trail we have the woman in white gown. That's where our actor comes out and portrays, that scene. It's supposed to be one of our final scenes, but yeah, that's the area. That whole right side is where we get the activity, and further back by the hot tub of love.
but did you get now my first thought when I saw this, at regular size was like camera glare because he's got a light. He's also got an EVP machine going. But then I kind of zoomed in and I'm like, well, you know what? That's not camera flare. That's not,
No.
um, things to do with camera. And I know, Melanie, you do a lot of photos. So if you might have an explanation. I did show these to Kayla, who unfortunately couldn't join us today because she's got some stuff that she had to take care of. And she's like, no, you definitely caught something.
Yeah, you can even see a face on it. If you look at the right side, to the right of the tree, when you're looking, you can literally see eyes and a nose and a mouth. And a farmer, my actors have said that they've seen a farmer so many times. And actually, Friday night, I did see the farmer for the first time. And he's the one that chased us out of the woods. And honestly, that scared the crap out of me. I was running. I was like, oh my God. And I was on the 4-wheeler, so I guess I was like taking off. And my other two actors, Maytel and Chris, my director of operations, she actually fell on the ground. And, Maytel, she didn't feel anything at all. So it was crazy. Yeah, it was pretty wild. But yeah, we saw that.
So let me, that was like the first one in my, like order of photo taken, right?
Yeah.
So then let me find, the second one would have been this one where it's not quite at you. So clearly it came around, right? Because now it's in front. It would have been like between the two of you if you were standing on the right side of the picture.
Right.
And I'm like, well, you're interesting. Let's look. Because again, at full size,
yeah. And I'm just minding my business. I'm just like, okay, ready to go. And
now
he's on the spirit box right there too,
Yeah, and he was getting a little aggressive. I think after you kind of came back, and I will say the pictures with the anomaly, I always have struggle saying that word. It does not show up after you walk away. So even though he's being aggressive and he's like, you want me to what? And he says he's getting all of this feedback, like there's nothing in the picture. So I'm like, was there really something interacting with you? But here is that picture zoomed in.
Oh man. I'm like,
So my first thought, I'm like, this probably feels more like the lady in white than like maybe the farmer.
So now, my mom was looking at it yesterday, and again, she's like, you could see like the eyes up top and the nose, and everybody's mind depicts it possibly as something else. And because the one actor that we saw his face is messed up, or said his face is really messed up, and how he portrays himself. And he's really tall. And that one, I did not see that while I was standing there. That's for sure. I'm shining right at it. And me, if I would have seen that, I probably would have been like, oh my God, took off running. So, I didn't see that.
You would have been back with us pretty quick.
Yeah. I'm not, I feel that. And I just try to annoy it. And honestly, since a kid, it still scares the crap out of me. I'm not going to lie about that. I think that's the one thing I'm afraid of in life is ghosts.
I'm going to. So Melanie's asking if we can zoom that one in.
And here I am. I have a haunted trail,
Yeah, you're like, I don't like the paranormal, but I'm going to make a scary walkway.
Yeah. I didn't think I was going to get this.
So the one we're looking at, I zoomed in as much as I could with my phone. Now I got to tell it to make it a picture file. Convert to JPEG. Has your mom had any like activity like in the house or anything like because I know there's
Um,
houses close by. Have they had anything kind of
I
happening?
haven't talked to any of the neighbors. Actually, the one neighbor I did talk to, if you're looking, pulling in my driveway to the right of me, they've lived there for years. And I've seen him a bunch of times, and I even asked him. I said, "Hey, is there anything back here?" And this was earlier in the year, and he's like, "No." He's like, "I'm in these woods all the time. There's nothing." He's like, "I don't, I've never experienced anything back here." Now I've been in these woods for a year, cutting down trees, preparing for this, and getting it ready. And I never felt anything. There was only one time when I was here in February, and it was snowing out. And it was about like 8:30 at night. I was on my skidster with my chainsaw, finishing cutting up trees, and I had that feeling. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get out of here. But other than that, that was the only time up until now. And Friday night when we were there, it was terrifying. I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. And they were making their presence known. So as far as neighbors, not sure. But one of my actors, one of my workers, he has done research in the area, and he said he's found a lot of things that have gone on close by and in proximity of this.
Um, I was doing a little bit before we went live on specifically Columbia Station because I know he was telling me stuff, and I'm like, that's not right here. That's like the next
Right.
town
The
over. Like,
Witch in Myrtle Hill, which most people know, Brunswick, the ball, Witch's Ball.
yeah, and they're like, well, it is warm at night, and I'm like, yeah, because
Yeah.
it's metal and the sun hits it all day, so it's
Yeah.
going to be warm. Science first before the woo woo.
Right. But
Um,
another a couple of instances we had real quick. Now, I don't mean to cut you off. Is
uh-huh.
in the house that we're getting ready to remodel. My mom did sit here crying in there. It was like a woman's cry in there, and my daughter heard it. My 13-year-old daughter Blake heard it. And then a couple of weeks ago, when I was in the barn, because we had to clean up the whole property, I had my for my skidster, I had my earplugs on or whatever, my headset, and I didn't have the radio on or anything, my ear protectors, and I literally picked up a box to go put it in the bucket of the skidster, and I heard a voice saying, "Why? What are you doing touching that?" And I'm like, "Whoa, what was that? Where did that come from?" And I looked to my mom, and I'm like, "Mom, did you say something?" She's like, "No," and there's nobody there, and I heard it as clear as day. That freaked me out. But we were
I
moving all the stuff out, they're moving all the things out. So
Yeah, I want to get back out there,
I know.
but I'm a little
I
busy this
know.
time of year. I'm like, damn. But because that was one thing we were kind of speculating on is the events that are having you guys literally run out of these woods is at like 2 and 3 in the morning, kind of after you've had guests. So that energy's hyped, right?
Yeah. And
S-
Chris, my director of operations, that night when we were there, she literally said, "Hey, I don't want to be in these woods at 2 a.m." And she's been seeing things, and I was trying to get her on today, but we got a lot of things to do, so unfortunately she couldn't make it. But she sees it, and she's been experiencing a lot, and she's been chased out of there at least twice during the day. And so that night, right before I saw the woman in the white gown come out of the church, which I legit saw, and she's shining the light. She's like, this woman, she's over here, but everyone was describing it as a woman in a black dress. It was black hair. So when we saw the woman in the white gown, I was like, wait, what? I'm like, this takes me back to Wakeman when it was haunting us.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could. I don't know what to say.
um here is the final. So there were only
Yeah,
3 pictures that I was able to see something in. I still have them all on my phone. Maybe one of these days when, I'm
yeah,
really like not rushed and everything, I'll zoom in more. Now, mind you, guys, keep in mind it looks lighter in that background than what it really was.
yeah.
So
That's true.
I turned my brightness up to really look at photos and to see and to make sure there wasn't anything that I might have been missing. So it
Yeah.
looks brighter.
Oh
Um,
yeah. And when you're back there at night, it's pitch black. Like the good night right before I saw the woman in the white gown, I turned back on the 4-wheeler, and you can't see anything. You can't see anything behind you. And so that's why when I turned back and I saw her, with her gown all up, I mean, she like lit up. She lit up that area. And I was, ah! I'm like, oh my God. I think I literally yelled. I was like, oh my God, I'm out of here.
You noped out pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm like Shaggy at the, mysteries or the Scooby Doo. I'm the one running from it. Everyone else is like, what's going on? I'm like, nope, nope, I'm out.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Now here's more up close with it, literally like
Mystery
right there
Inc.
with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Hey, it's pretty up close and personal.
she's like, "How you doing?"
Yeah, how you doing?
This was actually the first one that I noticed because the way my camera roll is, you see
Yeah,
newest first or oldest first, right? So, it was this one, then where it was a little farther away, and then over, off to the side.
yeah.
So, um, like, hey, um,
Yeah, and I don't know why it's by me. I wasn't saying anything. I was minding my own business, and Dylan's to the left of me, telling him, what do you want me to do? Why don't you show yourself? I'm like, no, we're good. No need for that.
so I'm like, huh, okay. It's clearly more interested in you than
Yeah,
the worker who is actively like trying to communicate.
right.
And I think he said at one point, and I'm like, maybe this is the ghost being a little snarky. Um, we all there was what probably about 7 or 8 of us walking
Yeah,
around there, right?
yeah,
With the intent to go see what we could catch. And part of that communication, the spirit was like, well, then come find me.
yeah. It did say that. Yeah, it did. It
And
said,
I'm like,
come
well, she's
find me. And that's kind
yeah.
of when he went and walked up the trail. And,
Mhm.
I'm just minding my biz, flash on the light, like, okay. I'm
So
such a wuss when it comes to this stuff, guys. I really am.
and she's like, well, I'm standing right here. So come
Yeah,
find me then.
yeah,
Um, so this one, what I found interesting is it seems a little less intense than some of the more previous, right? Because like
yeah.
those
Look at
lines are a little
that.
more jagged, almost electric looking
Yeah,
versus right here. So I don't know if it was starting to lose energy, maybe.
and like I even when I first saw these, I was like, okay, is there any way that the light could be, or it be like a shine off or anything? You know how sometimes like even your camera can do that, and I can't
Mhm.
explain that. There was no like direct light looking at your camera really or anything. So
Yeah.
yeah, I can't explain that.
And I know
That's tough.
Melanie is really good with photography. She has sent us some really awesome pictures of some cemeteries near where she lives in Georgia. And so, it's like Melanie, I'm using used my iPhone 16 in night mode,
Hmm.
where you have to like hold it still for 3 seconds before it, takes
Yeah,
the picture. So that's how these were done. And, so many other pictures, nothing there. And there were a couple others that I'm like, the first ones that I sent you, Scott, I was like, do you have anything laying on the ground right there? And then a picture or two later with different, I think somebody's like flashlight, because some of them were live photos, would
yeah.
scan real quick. And I'm like, never mind, there was like, that's explainable. These can't explain.
No,
Uh,
and the night before when I didn't even know they were going in the woods. There was this. Anyways, the night before we you went out there with me. The Dylan and Mariah and like 4 or 5 of them went in the woods, and they actually got a lot of activity. Not so much that they seen anything. I don't think they were taking photos, but they got a lot of stuff on the spirit box. And
mm,
each time that night they told us to get out, and even right at the end of the night when we were by the bridge, they told us to get out. So yeah, it's definitely created the the creepiness for Halloween and for our event. That's for sure.
now
Stepped it up a notch.
right. And like, you want spooky, we got you.
Yeah, but it's like it's almost like they're imitating my actors, and it's kind of weird. It's very strange because there's been a couple occurrences where one of my actors was like, "Hey, were you just over there?" And one of my other guys was like, "No," and they're like, "I swear I just saw you over here." So, we got like a clown back there. We got a couple different, things, not to give it away, but Yeah, actually, we've been having major issues with batteries dying fast, our fog machines, and our opening night. Okay, we were had everything ready to go, and I mean, I got hate for this on of course Yelp reviews, but we had everything ready to go, and all of a sudden our generators went down. Like three of our generators just bam shut off, would not turn back on. And we've prepped and planned and practiced and did a walkthrough to test everything. We could not get them started. They just would not start. And then finally, about an hour into it, everything went back on and kicked on. And I actually got bad Yelp reviews for that, negative Yelp reviews. Like, this is the worst experience. And I'm sitting there going, I can't explain. I don't know what happened. Like our generators just went boom, done. Three out of the five. And yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, tell them.
Care Bear
And
says
I
she's gonna.
apologize. I'm like, I went to all of them. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I apologize, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. So now I
Well,
don't think it's the worst experience ever, like it was claimed.
yeah, right. Well, I think
I got
now,
people running out and they're terrified. I'm running out terrified.
I mean, when the Halloween scene's over, maybe you should keep it as a paranormal thing and let
you know,
people start really
I
experiencing it.
thought about it. I thought about doing it right now. I don't know. We got. I'm debating on doing something like that. It's a lot of work to put on an event like this. It's more work than I even thought. And honestly, we're thinking about possibly doing something for Christmas, like a walkthrough, like a winter wonderland. So I don't know. I'll see about it. If the intensity, but also the safety of my guests and people going back there. Because if this is going to pick up and this is really going to I mean, it's picked up a lot. I don't want people going back there and something getting attached. You know me. I care about the people that I do business with and stuff. So we'll see. I'll have to talk to you about that before I open that up.
Okay. Yeah.
You know?
It's a lot to take in because I will say, it had either rained that day or the day before, and it is just a walking path. And I'm
Yeah.
glad I took your suggestion of putting on the shoe covers.
Hey, they work great. I know.
Yes, because it was pretty muddy in spots, and there were a few times where I slipped because you thought you were in more of a
Yeah.
wet but flat part, and then you're slipping, and I'm like, oh
Right.
crap, like, oh, that's gonna suck if I go down in mud.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's why I shut down Sunday night. It was just too wet, and I got to go back there and we got to put some wood chips down. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's a great idea. As for like a haunt like that, as far as on it's just the business side. Oh yeah, hey, get people in here, but it's also kind of like a respect thing to the land and to I don't know. I gotta decide on that one.
But speaking of batteries, I just thought of this. Now, when we first started, you kept going, "Why are those lights on?" Those were all turned off.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they were the little battery operated, cute little tea lights in little like baby food jar type looking jars.
right. Yeah, we do that to help guide the path a little bit, so that way everybody has it. But we've been having weird issues with those turning on randomly. I mean, it could be the cold. I don't know, but yeah, it was really weird. They'll just turn on. Yeah, like there was a light, and I'm like, there's no light right there, and it looked like it was shining, and I'm like, there's no light right there. And you saw Troy go back through, and he shut everything off.
Mhm.
So I can't say, hey, that's paranormal or not paranormal. But all I know is what I saw. What I saw that Friday night, that was the legit. I mean, the farmer chased us out of the woods. He literally was lunging at us. I was blown. And so then I go to the barn, and one of my actors' outfits is sitting right there, and he's kind of like a scarecrow, but he dresses like blue flannel squares, and that
Mhm.
was the outfit the farmer was wearing when he was chasing us, and I was like, okay, this is creepy. I'm going home.
That's it. I'm done.
Get my blessings, my hail marys, man. I'm going home. Don't follow me.
There's there's been a lot that's happened in Columbia Station.
Yeah.
There's the Coatesbrook Curve, a trolley wreck on Coatesbrook Curve in 1903 is said to be haunted by the
Really?
victim E.L. Gavin. Trolley workers have reported seeing a shadowy figure and or hearing a trolley car appear and disappear on the tracks.
Okay.
So I don't know how close you might be to Coatesbrook Curve.
Um, you know what I will say, I've been in Columbia Station for 30 years, And these woods, they're creepy. Okay, I've been, especially when I was younger, we used to hang out by the railroad tracks. I lived by the quarry, and we used to hang out by the quarry and all the weird things. And honestly, everyone's gonna laugh at me and joke. I am not doubting that there's even a Sasquatch in these woods. I've been chased out of these woods by something huge. That not a deer, nothing like that. And my buddy and I, we experienced it. My parents, living over here, we've heard like breathing, like aggressive, loud. You can't explain it.
Oh,
And I've
wow.
been telling people for years, these woods are crazy. Like there is a lot of strange activities that I've seen. And even by my house, the one time my niece had a party when my parents were out of town, and they left. The people left, and a group of them came back because they saw a woman in a white gown walking down the street towards them. And I've had so many weird occurrences here, so I'm not surprised, honestly, especially living by the quarry. People, I guess that used to be owned by the mob or something. So
Oh,
at
Lord.
least,
So who
at
knows
least
what,
that's what I was told.
who's been thrown in the quarry.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna
Um,
get hate for saying, "Oh my God, Scott thinks there's a Sasquatch back there." Yeah, you know what? I honestly, I would put money on it. There's something big back there.
there's a lot. Like there's come to find out, the real pretty house that's been abandoned forever. It looks like a mansion. Reading up on it was abandoned 25 years after a man hangs himself and his partner came home to find it. So he noped out of that house.
Where is that at?
This one,
Is it on Columbia Road?
I believe so. Let me get in here and look. It is really cool. I've like when I've driven down, it's that one that almost looks like an old German thatch
Oh
looking.
yeah, yeah. I think that's on 252 West River.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
Columbia
so,
West River.
yeah.
Is it
So
that East River?
that's
All
got
right.
some haunted history.
Yeah,
That one's considered the partner's house, the murder house. The local legend claims a woman was murdered in an abandoned farmland house, and some visitors
really.
have reported seeing a woman in a spotted dress in the front window.
Yeah,
Um, let's see. So there's a lot. And I know when
yeah,
I was looking up like what was kind of between you and I when I came into this apartment,
right.
there was a lot to do with the railroad tracks, just accidents on the tracks,
Oh
people
yeah,
getting out of the way or purposely putting themselves in the way. So, it's kind of interesting. And I know at one point I've asked Marianne if cold weather makes spirits more active, and she's like, not really. Um,
it sure adds to the effect though. But I mean, that was like even when we were on the trail and I'm sitting there and it really wasn't that bad. And then all of a sudden, I got that feeling, and then it got so cold right by me. And I was like, "Look, you guys, you can see my breath. Where a few minutes ago you could barely see it." And that was actually right before all this started happening.
yeah, you were actually near me.
Yeah, and I was
And I
literally like,
remembered
"Look, you guys can see my breath now."
I stopped walking trying to just feel it, and I'm like, all right, walking makes, body heat. Let me stop walking because you were like maybe a step behind me to my
Yeah,
right. And I remember just kind of sitting there and I'm like, I'm not feeling it. So I'm like, I wonder if she was culminating and maybe she was on the other side. But
yeah,
but from that point, that's when you walked past to where your worker was standing and where
yeah.
these pictures were taken.
And there's been numerous times we'd be back there also, and like you feel like it's there. Like even that night, I was talking to Chris and I was shutting down a couple of animatronics, and I'm like, "Oh, it's here." I'm like, "It's here," and then all of a sudden it went away. And I'm like, "Okay, it's gone." And then we went back further down, and then I'm like, "Oh, wow, it's really here now." You're like now you feel like it's next to you. And actually, my daughter, I, she wanted to play one of the roles in the woods, and I kept telling her no, 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 because so she is, she has that ability, Blake.
Mhm.
And so her earlier in the day, her and Bristol were on the four-wheeler, kind of helping out my two daughters, and they heard the cowbell, which we heard across the barn the one night. We're all sitting there talking, also we just heard a cowbell, and everyone's like, "What was that?" And it came right in that area where there's nothing. There's nothing. It's all woods. So my kids heard that, but then there's an area in the spider scene where you have all these the little black strings that come down, right? And they said as they were going through, all of a sudden, all of those went up at the same time. They went through and they dropped down. And they literally got off the four wheeler and were trying to like, hey, how the heck did that happen? And couldn't get it. But anyways, my daughter was at the scene and she was working it, doing a great job, by the way, Blake. And so she goes to me and she's like, Dad, if I would have opened my eyes as I'm sitting in the chair, she's like, there was somebody right next to me to my left. And she's like, they were like, it was like they were breathing on me almost.
Mm.
So she, she's brave, unlike me. So she stuck it out, but I would have been out of there. I'm like, nope, bye.
Yay, Blake.
Everybody's getting some stuff. So
Blake and Bristol, my two little adopted daughters who.
Oh my gosh, they went. I had to take them back to Phoenix, and oh man, they were so helpful. Just such a nice time to go spend time with them.
Well, you told me that, so I purposely went and sat myself down in the chair and was kind of like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Let's do this. And at one point, with my EVP, I was like, is it okay that I sit in your chair? And there was like nothing. And I'm like, are you mad that I'm in your chair? Nothing. And good point, Melanie. I do wear one of Marianne seeds. So, they're going to be at least 3 feet away from me.
I wasn't privy to seeds. That's why I got one on my head.
and I should have thought to take that off and leave it in my truck, honestly, but it's like, it never comes off. I forget that I have it, honestly.
Clearly it still happens when you're
there. So we've been talking about trying to find the time to come out and kind of do this again.
Yeah, my advice would be come out later in the night, because as the night goes on, like during the day when we're out there, it's fine, it's good, it's in nighttime, and usually it's usually like around 10 o'clock at night is when my actors start saying, hey, I'm seeing shadows. My daughter even drew a picture of some of the things that she's seen there, the shadows that she's seen out there.
Did Bristol draw those?
Yeah, Bristol actually drew them. Yeah, I think I sent them over.
She's a little artist. So
the night that happened, when we got chased out by the woman in the white gown, I called her the next day and I was like, Boo, because her nickname's Boo. I said, you're never gonna believe this. I'm like, we got chased out. And she's like, are you serious, Dad? She's like, I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, last night I had a dream of the woman in the white gown chasing me to the well scene, and she was trying to attack me. And she's like, I woke up scared. And she's 11 years old. Make sure I got her. Yeah, 11 years. And so then she went ahead and drew me a picture, and I was like, oh wow. Like, oh my god.
Do you have that picture handy?
Let me see if I can get this real quick. I'm sure I can.
Little Bristol.
I know. Oh my gosh. So she actually drew me. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it on here.
There's also on Aiden. That's Aiden right here. That's
sorry. Let me shut the light here real quick.
Can you like text it to me and I'll throw it?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Hold on. I don't know if you guys can see it good, but she drew me this picture. Okay. So she drew that picture of what she says she sees as a white woman in the white gown. And then she showed me some of the black figures that she's seen in the woods.
Oh no.
Yeah. And I've heard and gotten many people saying that, the black shadows, but even being back there, you can kind of see things in the side of your eye, and you're just like, okay, what was that? Or a squirrel. Your brain tries to give you a logical reason of what you're seeing and whatnot,
Yeah, you're right, Melanie. I'm gonna have to get Scott a seed. Like, don't take it off.
I'll take that 10, please. I'll start eating them. That might not work so good.
No, you don't want to eat them. And then
I'm being dramatic.
Yeah. So when the girls are in town, we'll have to get them.
Yeah, I'm trying to. My oldest daughters, but yeah. So my advice would be let's come later at night. And I was even thinking about getting an Ovilus to go back there where you can actually see what the words are. Because sometimes it's hard. It's hard when you're with the spirit box. And you're like, wait, did they just say that? And we even asked, hey, do you like the haunted attractions? They're like, somewhat. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
great. I'm like, now my ghosts are critics.
Yeah. That was one that I did get. Like, do you like the haunted action Scott's doing? They're like, somewhat.
Yeah, it's all my thanks, guys. Just don't tell Yelp, man. They're already hating on me.
You get the ghost to give you at least some 3 stars, here and there.
Yeah,
Raise that
right.
up.
It's either 1 or 5. I don't get it. 1 or no. Why can't I get it? I'll take a 3. It's crazy.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, though, I've had a lot of people having a blast. Just what we've done, and opening night. I'm sorry, I can't explain what happened there, but we buttoned it up, and we got a lot of people having a good time, smiling. That's what it's all about. This is why I built this, is just to entertain people, give people something to do, and really give back to the community. That's the most important thing for me. And a lot of people are like, oh, ticket prices and this and that. I'm like, well, I'm trying to help people in the community too. So that's big for me. That's the whole point of me really doing this, is to give back to the township that I love. I love Columbia Township.
It's a real pretty area, which is
Love
why
it.
it's almost a little surprising. Like, it's pretty, but at night, it'll mess with you.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I won't go past the bridge. I will not. Like where we have the pallets where you walk into the woods. I won't go back in that area past really like 10 o'clock at night. I will not. And there's been a couple times where the 3 guys that you saw, we didn't see the other one, Dylan there, and he's a big guy. He's one of our hillbillies back in the woods, and that Mitch kid and their other buddies, the other hillbilly, they went back there at like I think 12 o'clock at night. He forgot their hoodie. And they ran back there, and those guys ran back. I've never seen a heavy set guy run as fast as I saw him run back. And they're like, we're never going back there again. So like it was like 3 days later, he forgot his keys back there. And he's like, nope, I'm not getting them. He's like, that's it. He's like, get them tomorrow.
In the daylight.
Like, a lot of people forgot their, oh man, my hoodie. And they're like, yeah, I'll get it tomorrow. I don't blame them. They look at me, I'm like, I'm not going back there by myself. No.
I was
Let
just
me go back there in the woods with you guys. I got to show my braveness. I really don't
like, you're the leader of this group, Scott. Let's go.
Can we do this in the daytime? I'm such a big wuss when it comes to ghosts. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just sitting here thinking. So, when is the last time slot that you do for your people on the weekends?
Honestly, as long as the crew's having fun or people are coming, I mean, usually like 11:30, midnight's usually the last. I got neighbors nearby, so I want to be respectful. I told the township when they, allowed me to put this on, I said, look, I don't want to, cause any problems. And so usually about 11:30, I try to shut it down or have the last guest go through. My neighbors have been really, really cool. And I feel bad for the one. Google keeps sending people to his address. So Eric, if you see this, I do apologize. I really apologize. I've been trying to tell Google not to do that.
Right. No, because I was thinking, I'm like, Fridays and Saturdays, like my time at Blood Prison, we end at like 11:30, 12 o'clock, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I pack up stuff, we close up the tents, then I've got my hour drive back. Then I'm like, that might put me in that area around that time where your last guests are going through. And when you're kind of having some of this activity, then I'm like, well, that might be the time that I need to go walk, up through there.
Yeah, I'll put my braveness on. And I got trail cams all back throughout there too. And it takes a long time to go through the trail cams, so I haven't really been able to do that, but I need to sit there just to figure out what I see too.
Yeah, no, that would be really interesting to see if it's
I got them all over the place.
Nice.
But I'm going to have to start asking guests if they're seeing it. But I don't really know, because when you're kind of going through the trail, the way that I have it set up, it's kind of really eerie already. And so you're kind of already expecting things. I don't know if you're really going to be visually, unless like an apparition comes out and just appears out of nowhere. I don't even think you would really even notice. And now on the right side, that's purposely quiet like that. That right little last area is because of how we plan to portray that scene with the woman in the white gown. So, a lot of the stuff on the left and middle, it's kind of louder, brighter, and that is really, so they might see stuff through there. I wouldn't doubt it, honestly. That's where a lot of the activity is. So I'll start asking them.
I remember thinking at one point, and I'm like, it's kind of cool how it's windy. And at one point, it looks like it kind of comes back on itself. And I'm like, at that moment that night, that was more eerie to me that I'm like, I could get lost out here.
Yeah, people guests have actually gotten lost, and I
Yeah.
had to kind of when we first opened up, there was a couple guests that got lost or they missed a part of the trail, so I had to go through and adjust. Plus being new, our first year, you kind of learn, hey, don't do that, do this, and so yeah, we now I got it pretty much where it's kind of hard to get off the trail, but the way that I had it, in a sense, I kind of wanted to give the effect of them getting lost possibly or having that mental. But I realized, I think that's a little bit more scary than I want it to be. So I kind of got rid of that.
Yeah.
Because when you're back there at night, and I know, they're actors, but when you're in that moment and you can't really see anything in front of you, it does get really scary and get you nervous. Like even myself, like my parents one night, they walked back there and, they're 70 years old. And all of a sudden I hear on the radio, hey, Scott, your parents are lost. I'm like, wait, what? How are my parents lost? Because they got lost in the woods. My kids had to go get them.
Not the parents.
Yeah.
No, it made me think of, I don't know if you've seen that TV show called From.
I have not.
Um,
No.
it's was it on AMC? Anyway, the whole premise is people from all over the US end up in this town, and once you're there, like there's one road through town, and when you leave, you end up circling and you come back and you can't leave it.
Yeah.
And then at night, these things from the woods come and they literally will eat you. So you have to be like
Actually, yes, we'll get
barricaded.
that.
Yeah, and there's like these little witchy mud looking amulets that have to be on the inside of the door turned a certain way to protect your
Yeah.
house. But that whole like Scott said, we were close to the end, but I'm looking at, a prop that we walked past like 15 minutes ago, and I'm like,
Well, like one of the Yelp reviews that he had, and he was like, "Oh, it's the worst experience ever. A 10-minute walk with 6 actors." And I'm thinking, what trail is he walking on? Because it takes a good like 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how fast you're walking, to even get out of that trail. And I'm like, we got like 14 to 16 people, well, 16 people out back there minimum at all time, usually throughout. But yeah, it takes a bit to get through that.
yeah, I was like, was he
People are
jogging?
just walking fast. So when
Yeah.
I first built it, it was really just kind of all the way around. And then I was like, okay, no, we got to change it. And so then I kind of made it more just to prolong it. I couldn't see, charging people X amount of dollars for like a 10-minute walk. You know what I mean? I was like, no, we got to add more. And I still got way more I can add to the trail, but this is our first year, so we're going to test and tune it. But when I opened up, I cut down a lot of trees to open up the center. It got wetter than it was before. So I was like, how is that possible? But all of that's wetland. It's all deemed wetland by the township. So I figured it was going to dry it up. So I'm going to have to figure out some things.
Right. So guys, if you have any questions for Scott about what has been going on, things he's tried or not tried, or what the actors might be. We try to get a couple of the actors to come on and, adulting, day job, school, things like that. 10 a.m. on a Wednesday is hard for most people to be able to come on. And we're lucky that Scott's like, nope, this is what I do right now. And I've got time.
Yeah, I tell you, dedication to the cause. I tell you, this is, I've worked a lot of days in my life, but this is 16, 18 hours, sun up, sun down. So I'm glad I was able to hop on with you.
Yeah. So
bedtime at 5 a.m, is normal. Good thing, I'm from Phoenix, or I live in Phoenix too. So I'm used to that being up late, but yeah, it's rough. Yeah. Questions, comments. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. So I'm going to put into chat again the link for Scott's attraction. It is here in Columbia Station, Ohio.
Thank you, Chair Bear.
And on that Facebook page, so if you're a Facebook user, if you go to that page, you will see not only these pictures. So if you want to look at them again, and I'll get them in Discord, Chair, don't worry. Chair's forever reminding me to take better care of our Discord.
I'll be on Discord now, 2025, Telegram, Discord. It's like our group chat, we had to move it to WhatsApp. And, I'm the worst at it because I'm really not on WhatsApp. And so I'll click on, there's 30 messages. I'm like, oh man, I totally forgot to check it. So
yeah, Discord can be fun. Right. Thank you, Chair. But on Scott's Facebook page, not only will be the pictures, but the video he took or the live he did while we were walking around. So you'll see me in and out of some of the shots. And I found it funny when you're like, my psychic friend, who I won't say her name in case she doesn't want people to know.
Well, I didn't have a chance to talk to you and ask you and say, hey, Melissa, you want me to pronounce you bless? I don't know. I kind of wanted people there to have just see your insight before people knew what you were doing and who you were really.
Yeah.
I guess that was just me, and I didn't really have a chance to say,
No.
"Hey, do you want me to announce Goddess Elite is amazing? I've been going there for years, and I try to help you out as much as I can. You've helped me so much over the years, and I'll tell you what, though, you're a great friend.
Aw,
And
thank you.
one thing I do want to say is, that morning when you text me, that night after, so that happened Friday night. I hadn't really talked to you since December 5th. I looked at our text messages, and you and I were always cool. Even if we don't talk for 6 months or whatever, we always come back to where we were. And that's I love about you. So I looked at my phone and I'm like, you're like, hey, are you having weird things happening in your woods? And I'm like, oh my God, last night I just got chased out. I'm like, how'd you know? I'm like, duh. I'm like,
There was a disturbance in the force in your general direction.
And then I look at my phone, I'm like, man, I haven't talked to her since December 5th. I'm like, wow, she's really good, but all in all, no, Goddess Elite, I'm so glad that, we become friends, and I'm just grateful and thankful, and I hope you're doing good. So,
Yeah.
I guess my thing is just saying, I know we might not talk all the time, but thank you for everything you've done for me and your support.
No, well, thank you, and I love your girls.
Yeah, everybody
And
does.
Crystal.
Great.
I don't think I ever told you until I slept the other night. And I'm like, she's my little spider monkey. And you got quiet. I always thought of her as like, because when I would come visit, she was glued to me. And like, I remember that one time we met up, we had dinner there in Arizona. And we were talking about going like to your house. And she was like, you come too. And then like her car seat was behind me. Like, this is how long ago it was. And she was reaching up over and like hugging me from behind.
Yeah.
And I remember looking, I'm like, are you even strapped in? Like, sit back, little thing, you.
Right.
And so I would joke, I'm like, she's like my little spider monkey. And I'm like, I love it. She's adorable. And so now I'm like, holy cow, she's 11. When did that happen?
11 years old. It's been a long time. I mean, I think the first time you came out was my house when I lived in Brook Park. And that was, like 2010, something like that. So
she wasn't even born
time
yet.
has flown by. And and everybody, Melissa's literally come to at least my house in Cleveland, I think twice. I think she came to my house in Chandler, Arizona, twice, because we had something really bad in there. And that was scary. I mean, we heard little girls playing with toys. That was creepy. And that was just one of those houses where and the moment I rented that house and I walked in, I'm like, oh no. But you're locked into a contract and you're like, what? Can I get out of here? I think it's haunted. You can't really do that.
And they're like,
so,
nope.
Yeah, I mean, my parents' house, all sorts of, you've been coming around and getting ghosts out of here now. So
yeah. Because I'm like, that first time that I came to your house in the very, very first instance, Bristol wasn't even born yet. I think she was just like in the belly or was soon to be, but your other daughters were seeing things like looking in the windows and I'm like, oh no, we're not dealing with that shit. That's gonna stop right now. Yeah. And then there were some complications with Bristol's pregnancy that you guys asked for.
Yeah, boo. Yeah, she's a miracle child. Yeah, she almost passed. And even Summer, I got 4 daughters, everybody. And so my second daughter, Summer, when she came to our house the first time, we used to watch Dead Files all the time. And the lady on Dead Files explained like this human spider thing, like crawling on the roofs and stuff like that. So a couple weeks before, my daughter Summer, I think she was like 5 or 6 at the time. All of a sudden she comes up to me. She's like, Dad, she's like, there's like this spider crawly thing that keeps trying to get in the house on the roof. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm like, sure. I'm like, but I'm experiencing ghosts all those years. I think anything is possible. I really do, and I'm like, okay, Summer. And she's like, no, Dad, a couple of nights in a row. So we're watching the show Dead Files, and she does like a drawing. She has like one of them profilers or whatever, do like the drawings and stuff. And so Jen, my ex-wife, and I were sitting there, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, she draws like this humanoid spider, like on on the roof of these people's house that's like trying to haunt them and like take their soul. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, what is that? Immediately call you up, hey man, I got some problems. That was the first time I called you to come out. I'm like, oh my God, what is this thing?
Yeah.
I'm like, don't open the window, Summer.
Don't.
No.
Yeah. Oh my God, they're like young women now, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, like, right before I even messaged you about the woods, I think I was scrolling and you put a picture up of Bristol and Blake, and I'm like, they were in town and he didn't tell me.
You know, honestly, it's just been a long haul. I've been getting this set up and ready to go, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, November 3rd, I'm ready to go back to Phoenix. I'm telling you, I'm like, and then everyone's like, well, you're gonna do Christmas event. You should do a Christmas event. Oh, that'd be great. And so I'm like, okay, well, you know, you got the land, and then you know, I don't know, we'll see. And then they're like, do you do a scary Christmas? Do we do a, you know, a Wonderland Christmas? You know, I'm like, man, you know, how could we pulled off a Krampus, as they call it, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that is until like a couple days ago. I guess I'm just not cool.
Krampus is cool.
Krampus or something.
Yeah.
A haunted Halloween or a haunted Christmas. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, people. But all I do know is the Woods of Lost Souls will be here next year. We're going to make it better. It's here now for the next 2 weekends. And come on out. I'm excited. I love, you know, sometimes I get back there in the woods and it's just fun being able to see people smiling and laughing, and it makes it all worth it. Is it? Okay. Somebody give me an idea of how we can make it good and people would want to see it. I'm open to it. We got the land. We'll get these ghosts under control.
He's been hot for a couple years, and he's been even more so now.
So he's like
for my readers of the dark paranormal romance, like, you know, and I'm like, now we're lusting after Krampus. Okay. Like, that's a thing.
You know. And then I was thinking like the night before Christmas. I don't know. I got to get the public. When I do things like this, I like to get the public's insight and get their ideas before I do something. You know what I mean? Because you got to know your customers and you got to know what is going to bring the people and excite them. You know, so right now I'm just trying to make sure that I don't get any more just the worst experience views, because I don't know how, but what I've learned, and it's hard for me because I'm a perfectionist and I care about the product I give out to people, is I'm just kind of learning that, you know what, you can't please everybody. You just can't. And I'm learning that right now, and it's kind of hard for me, but it's okay. I got it. I'm a big boy.
So, well, and maybe that's a good thing that we also did this live to not only help promote, you know, small business, but to explain, like, when you have real ghost activity, like, it's going to mess with your batteries, your electronics. Things are not going to go the way they should.
Yeah.
And, you know, to please respect
a couple nights ago, we go through every night, every day. We're there from like 10 on, and we tested all the fog machines. We test all of our batteries, you know, make sure everything's good. And all of a sudden, all of our fog machines just went down. We're like, how are our fog machines? Like, how is this possible? Like, I'm literally today, my job when I get off of this is go figure out what happened to all of our brand new expensive fog machines. I don't know. They all of a sudden they just stopped working the other night. Friday, I think it was Saturday night. We had all that weird stuff happen, and then they worked in the beginning, and now like 4 of them, they're brand new. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. So that's my job when I hop off here to go figure out what's up with our fog machines.
I think you might need some beer and wine and kind of go have a powwow with your ghost, you know, beer for the farmer, wine for the lady. And like, look, please stop messing with my stuff. This is only a few more days. It helps the people living here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, here in Columbia Station, I'm going to give a plug. Joker's, okay? Joker's Bar and Grill, right? Amanda up there. I actually went to school with her mom. Her mom. So her best getter's daughter is Amanda, who's a bartender. And thankful for them, because there's been a couple times, you know, and we get done at like 12 o'clock at night. 12, and she's like, "Oh yeah, hey, you know, I'm like, can you make me some wings?" She's like, "Yeah, I got you." So there you go, Jokers. I'm gonna give you a plug. Thank you very much for staying open, so I can kind of take a break and be like, "Oh my gosh," you know.
Well, I wonder, do they have anything happen in their bar, like?
Well, I mean, obviously we know what's going on there. I haven't sensed anything there. And I, you know, I don't say I go there a lot, but I do go there. But I haven't really sensed anything there. And I usually can feel when something's there. I have that. I could see them. I'm like, like I said, I'm like Shaggy from Scooby Doo. I don't like want anything to do with it. So, but I can't feel it. But I haven't felt anything there.
Anything there? Oh, that's
Like I
kind of
don't have.
surprising. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about whatever happened there because I want people to go there because they're great people there.
Yeah.
And the other night I was there and there was a Browns player there. That's all cool. And thank you, Browns, for winning a game.
Is that one
But,
game this season? Because that's how
yeah, David Njoku's up there like all the time. I literally saw him the other, he was there, and I'm kind of one of the people where I'm like, hey, I don't want to bother them, but
yeah.
Anyway, so I'm all about business. I'm all about community and working with other businesses, and they're going to let us have tickets up there and stuff. So I'm huge on that. So what I plan to do now for if we do the Christmas thing is working really more with other businesses in the community. I tried to do that on this, but my time crunch just wasn't there. It was just I had to jump through the hurdles of the township to make it happen and push me back, which I'm just thankful the township let me do this. So we were kind of rushed to get things set up to make this happen. It almost didn't even happen this year.
It may be best to like get the season under your belt and then start planning for next year to do the Halloween and then the Christmas.
Yeah, November 1st, I'm going to be planning for Halloween for next year. I've already been having the ideas for the winter, the Christmas thing. So that's kind of been on my mind. We've already been kind of planning, like, okay, what are we going to do? Da, da, da. So we'll see. But definitely a year under the belt. And that was kind of like, the idea for this. And, a couple of things were, they weren't prepared. No, we were prepared. It's just, you don't know, when it's your first time doing something like that, you learn. And I've been a business owner for 23 years, 25 years. And, every year you're learning. You're always learning to make things better,
Right.
It's when you're like, no, I'm perfect. That's when you're going to run into major problems because then you always have to be open-minded and everybody's view of, one person might love this scene, another person hates it, and so you're like, okay.
That's the thing with the public, like you can't please everyone. You kind of just have to go for the majority because you're not going to get everybody.
Right. And I'm the person where I'm like, I felt so bad opening night. We're ready to go. Everything's good. And then it all went to SHIT. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I felt bad for the people that were there, because I want to put on the best show possible. And like, I can't explain what happened to our generators. They just went down. They were gassed up, like everything tested. And then like within an hour and a half, they were fine. The rest of the night, they were fine. And I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, what just happened? I can't explain it. I cannot explain it. But now that I'm seeing apparitions and energies, I mean, and I think about this, I don't know how much time we got, but all of a sudden having no really energy back there. And then all of a sudden, bam, lights, strobe lights, all this stuff, humans back there.
Yeah.
I had to just ignite something,
Yeah. That's where I think if I come up, after I'm done with Mansfield, Friday, Saturday night, around the time of this activity, just to come feel it out and see, leave my seed in the car or hand it to you, like, here, put this necklace on for a few minutes. Okay. Just to see.
Yeah.
But again, like I did not see these with the naked eye. These just showed up in pictures later. So, I want to see the grumpy old farmer and be like, why are you being such a dick? Like, why?
Yeah, he's not happy.
Calm it down, dude. Like, come on.
I know it's fall time, man. He should be like harvesting.
Right.
What are you doing bothering me, man? Go
do your chores. Be gone.
No disrespect to any farmer out there. It's we need farmers, but hey, man, go hunt your field or something. But there legit is a farmland right next to us. It's a huge property, and and then even across the street from us, Fetchit. I think it's Bob Fetchit. He's got farmland, huge farmland right across the street from us. I mean, all that was actually farmland, pretty much in Columbia. So,
yeah. So if you guys are local and want to come visit Scott and his haunted the Woods of Lost Souls. It is in Columbia Station. Um, I know I started to say I was going to put the, oh, I did.
Oh, yeah, we're open Thursday nights from 7 to 10, Friday, Saturday, 7 to about 11:30, and then Sundays 7 to 10. And if you give us a call, I usually give out a discount code if people call us. We got tons of promotions. I ran a really cool promotion, which we got rained out last Sunday. So I'm thinking about doing it again for couples, where it was the sweetest scare. And, you basically got buy one ticket, get another one half off. And so I'm trying to get the balance of making sure that, hey, because we pay all of our actors. We don't really have volunteers. We pay all of our actors.
Mhm.
And, I'm trying to get that balance of, okay, paying them, donating to the community, making sure we cover our expenses. And so, that's that fine line there to be able to stay open and keep your doors. But I also try to make sure that, people are able to afford it, and originally when I started, we didn't even have kids. And then everybody kept saying, hey, I want to bring my kids. So I was like, okay, let's get a kids ticket. And so now I'm trying to give like discount code, a lot more discount codes. And also on our radio, we got 96.5 Kiss FM. We got our radio ad going out, so that's cool too.
Oh, nice.
Come visit us.
Nice.
I promise you. Hey, I know what I'm trying to put out there. You should have a good time. And we now have one of our actors where when they first come in, they escort them down to the trail. So I'm learning. We're making it better. It's good. It's good. I'm happy with the product I have right now that I'm putting out there. I really am.
Nice. So next year you add the touch pass, and that's where you start grabbing people and hauling them away.
I honestly, I'm not going to say. We'll keep it open. I don't know if I really want to do that, to be honest, because I've had some people back there where they freak out. It's a whole nother world once you're back there in the dark, and we're kind of against giving the flashlights because it's right away. They shine it right in our actors' eyes. But there's been a couple times we were really having lighting issues where all of a sudden our lights were dying. And so we had to give people flashlights. So I don't know if I want to do the touch thing though. I got a couple other ideas, but
it can be a little problematic. We're at the point now at Blood Prison where we're hearing them. They're like, do not touch the actors, and even without a touch pass, a guy decked one of the female actors last week.
And another thing is we are in the woods, and I can't. Yeah. I've gone through with my machine, my skits, and clear these trails as good as I possibly can. I've had the fire department back there. We have to, and there's still some ruts that go along the trail, and I don't know. My biggest thing is people's safety and experience, and I don't think me touching our guests or us touching our guests is going to do what I really want us to do. So I probably won't do a touch pass, honestly, but I will make sure that it's we grow every year and we fine tune and make it better.
Right. I am working on that right now, Melanie and Chair, about getting these pictures up in our Discord. I had to re-sign in on my laptop because, browser updates and it always signs you out of everything. But we'll get the pictures put up. So one of our last questions, because I do have to leave here soon for an appointment with work. There's Chair. What's the most realistic ghost movie you think, Scott?
I don't know. I still have to say The Exorcist as a kid. I mean, it terrified me. That was legit, because especially when I first saw that at 9, 10 years old, I was going through that at the house, and where I had my sister messed with the Ouija board, and whatever she brought into the house was evil. It was pure evil. And it was literally and that's why I really believe in God, is because at nighttime I couldn't sleep. All this stuff's going on. My parents were saying, oh, there's nothing. And so the Bible, so I have to say The Exorcist to me is probably the scariest one that I've seen. Like I just saw the new Conjuring movie and I was like, that was pretty cool. But then, like when Annabelle turns like 10 feet tall, I'm like, okay, that's dumb, but I'd have to say The Exorcist is legit. At Joker's, they have that girl, the Exorcist girl, and I can't remember her name or whatever. And I was like, oh man, because originally I wanted to do a scene like that, where,
Mhm.
the girl's in bed and then vomits out. But maybe next year we'll do something that, I mean, come on, that'd be freaking creepy. Like we wanted to do like an exorcism back, like, so we got a lot of ideas still coming.
Yeah. Hey,
I need to ask
Chris.
them where they got that because it's legit. Like I even tried kissing it the one night. It's so funny.
Those words
There's a
are
picture of me like you're like ah.
It's funny because it's the Exorcist movie, all of that. I was like, okay. The minute she is crab walking reverse down some stairs, and I'm like, nope, your ass is out. Love you, kid.
Yeah,
You're out. Bye-bye. You don't
yeah,
live here anymore. You're gone. Like that was my point. You can
yeah.
vomit, you can say curse words, you can whatever, but you come crab walking down the stairs upside down.
Yeah,
No, we're,
well,
we're done.
that's like our first scene. It's kind of a duplicate of like the Ring, and our actor she portrays it perfectly. Oh my gosh! And we have her in there, and so she was she needed a day off, and so we put somebody else in there, and I'm like, it's just amazing how one person can just enhance that scene and make it perfect. And I'm like, oh my God, Mariah, you've done an amazing job. She's literally crawling on the ground barefoot. It's like 48 degrees outside. And I'm like, you are savage. Like, as the kids would say now, slay, you
Oh,
know?
right. What's
I'm
the
a
updated
90s kid, man.
technology?
I say, dude, sweet, awesome, rad.
Yeah,
But
ghost.
for your people watching this, Fear 5, use Fear 5 and get $5 off your tickets. And you know what? For everybody, you couples, do the Sweetest Scare ticket. I'll go ahead and I'll still let you redeem that, where it's buy one get one half off for your partner for this weekend. Yeah,
Nice.
Big Ghost Reveal. So there you go. So and I have that. All you have to do is just buy one ticket. I try to keep it as simple as possible. Buy one ticket. It already deducts the other one. It's $45. Come in and have a good time for your couple.
Nice.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, right, Cherish is like when the parents start using the kids' words, the kids find new. I think you're right. I think
You know what? I don't know what's up with these kids. They're like eating, and then they're like cooked. And I'm like, okay, you guys are just throwing crap against the wall. I don't get it. Like busted. No, it's busted. I don't know. I got four
because
daughters, so they keep me hip. I'm already
yeah.
pretty cool, if you couldn't tell.
Well, and it's like an age range to where you're getting all of the different,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my oldest daughter's gonna be 22. My youngest is gonna be 12. So I get. I don't know. I still got my good dance moves, though. My dad moves. They always say.
go to the father-daughter dance and bust out your
Yeah.
dad moves and
I know. I can't wait to get home. It's hard being away from my kids. It is. It's hard. So, but I look forward to going home and spending time with them. I've been here a lot, so.
yeah.
But I want to say thank you so much for having me on.
Mhm.
Everybody, come check out the Woods of Lost Souls. And also, if I could do one thing,
Mhm.
one of the journalists at the Chronicle Telegram came out, did an interview, and thank you so much. That meant a lot to me. Had nice words in there, so I want to say thank you to her. I'm really kind of private on names, but if you want to check it out, so just thank you, everybody. Thank you, the community. I want to say thank you to the township for allowing me to do this, and just come out, have a good time, and hopefully we can help some people in need. Also, that's important to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Well,
thank you,
thanks
Melissa.
for
I love you, and thank you for being a good friend to me. I truly appreciate it more than anything, and I hope nothing but the best for Goddess Elite.
Aw. Well, thank you. Well, and thanks for being able to come on and tell us
Right
about
on.
your fun experiences in the woods. We'll
Help
see.
me! Help me get these ghosts out.
So keep an eye, guys. If I have enough steam left in my engine, personally, after Blood Prison sometime this weekend, there may be a live popping up. So go follow
Good.
uh, this. Go follow Scott's page for his haunt attraction, and you may get notification that we're walking around at 12:30, 1 o'clock looking for
Yeah.
some ghostesses after
Yeah.
I'm done with the ghostesses at Blood Prison. So go follow the Woods of Lost Souls. Keep an eye out Friday, Saturday night, and we'll see
Let's go.
what we find.
Right on. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Thank
All
you,
right.
Melissa.
Bye, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye bye.